everyone, this is Ellen from Rent Roll Starter. I'm here today with Peter from Eagle Software, and Peter is going to share a little bit of information with us on using a CRM software in our real estate agency and how to get the most out of it. So how are you today, Peter?
Very well, thanks, Alan. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you.
That's
Are you
fine.
happy for me to ask you a few questions so that we can learn a bit about using our CRM packages in our real estate agency and get the most out of them?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Go for it.
So I know people who use a dedicated CRM package, but I also know people who use like Microsoft Outlook or Google instead of a CRM.
Yep.
Can you tell me why we would use a CRM instead of Outlook or Google?
Yeah. So basically, I mean, the two systems are actually completely different. So a CRM, as the name suggests, is designed for client relationship management. And your Outlook, your Google, your Gmail, that's actually, I guess, primarily an email client. And so much so that you don't even have to host your emails with them. You can have them hosted elsewhere, and you can access them through Outlook or Gmail. And the other side of it as well, obviously, they've got collaborative tools for documents and all that kind of stuff, and sharing and having stuff on the cloud. So I think the confusion lies between the two around the contacts. So obviously you can have Google and Outlook contacts, and just like with the CRM, you can have contacts. So people think, okay, well, I've already got my contacts, so what else do I need? So I guess the main difference with the CRM is that you've got the marketing tools to leverage that database, and it also ties in with your listings and all that kind of stuff as well. So that's where the extra value is provided. And just to kind of give you an idea of what some of those things might be, there could be email alerts going out, or notification emails, or market updates, and all that kind of stuff. Because you've already got the data in there with your listings, the software can utilize that along with your contacts to do all these communications and other things, and link contacts with properties and all that kind of stuff in the software. So there is a lot of extra stuff in there that you just wouldn't get with just having just a basic contacts database. So I guess to answer the question, it's more about having that extra features in there to leverage the database, to get value back out of it.
Yeah. So now you actually mentioned features, and that was going to be my next question. What features should we be looking for if we're going to go out and take on a CRM software? What should we be looking for?
Yeah, so there's a few big ticket items. So obviously portal pushing is a big one, just listing management. And that also allows, like I said before, to link with contacts, so you can have your landlords connected to listings and all that kind of stuff. Also, with the contact database, you want to have a CRM that does contact importing. So this is a big time saver as well, so that when you're getting inquiries through your website or through the portals, the CRM can actually capture data automatically, not just their name and email, but also details about what they're inquiring about. And that can then be utilized with some of these other tools. You obviously want things like email marketing and with reporting on that as well. Brochures, generating different kinds of brochures, collecting data at open home, so having an app for logging information that way. And another one as well that I'd like to elaborate on is automations. So having a CRM that can automate things for you, gives you a huge advantage. And one of the things, like as an agent, you're dealing with on any given day a lot of people, and what can be time consuming is communicating with all those people and keeping people up to date with things. So, and if you break it down, there's actually, for example, just to send an email, there's quite a lot of, you can spend a good 10, 15 minutes, deciding, okay, I've got to send this email to someone, what's got to go in it, what information do I need to look up to get back to them with. I've got to actually write it out, and maybe even, make a record of, okay, I've sent this person an email, so you can look back on that as well. So it's more than just a quick email and send. So the idea with automation is that you can do things, schedule or program things to happen automatically for you. So examples of that could be a thank you email for an inquiry. It doesn't have to be a complex thing. It could be sending an application form after someone comes through an inspection. It could be notifying people of properties that match what they're looking for based on other properties that they've looked at of yours. Could be notifying people of an upcoming inspection, or it could be like an automatic market update to go to prospective landlords that you've maybe done appraisals for in the past, or all that kind of stuff. So these are the kinds of communications you can use automation for, and it's really becoming quite a big thing. And one thing with automation though is that obviously you can't automate everything. There's always going to be a personal side to your communications, especially when you're trying to build rapport or show how you're different to, say, an agent up the road. Those are going to be personal conversations on the phone or face to face. What these kinds of communications that you can automate are giving people information. And these days, everyone's got a smartphone. Everyone wants to be able to Google and have information, at their fingertips all the time. At the drop, in seconds, they want to have answers. So this, you can use automations to give them that information and in volume. So it doesn't matter if you have 5 people come through an open home or 50. The software will send out communications and keep them up to date with what's happening with the property, all automatically. So that's a huge time saver. You don't have to go digging around for lists of who inquired with this one or whatever. The system will just do it for you. So that's a really, big thing that's happening in the industry at the moment. And obviously keeping in touch with all these people helps to keep your pipeline, with fresh leads as well. Like if people that you've done maybe a rental appraisal for in the past, if you've kept in touch with them with some of these touch points, you guys, you'll be top of mind for when they are ready to do something. So, because timing is obviously a big, part of it, of the transaction as well. So that's kind of, features you should be looking for. There's a lot of kind of big ticket items that most CRMs will have. But certainly things around, automation, certainly the way of the future in a way that you can, scale, yourself kind of thing to be in touch with more people in a personal way as well.
I like it.
Yeah.
So as we're looking for a CRM program, how do we know what we should expect to pay for something like this? Like, is there a guideline of what to expect to pay for a CRM software?
Yeah, so pricing can vary, and it depends, on your needs and also, the size of the agency as well. So what, one person versus a multi-office agency, can have different needs. So generally there'll be some sort of setup cost, and that would include obviously getting your account set up, setting up portal pushing and doing training and those kinds of things. And then you will have a monthly subscription on that, on the software, and that provides not just it provides the system, and obviously as generally new features are rolled out, you'll generally get those as well, and also ongoing support on the software too, which is a big thing. So typically you could expect to pay around, say, $150 to $250 a month, depending on what your requirements are, and obviously having a return on that investment is a big thing. And so having lots of features is, like an important thing, but you've got to look at the value as well. So what is the CRM, delivering to you that's making it, worthwhile? So you've definitely got to look at that. And for me, I think there's 2 kind of big items that you want to consider. So the first one is saving time. So for example, I'll just run through kind of a quick example of how for, say a single operator property manager could save time. So obviously you'd need to, say you're doing, say 5 new managements a month. So you'd need to add all of those, advertise those properties on the internet. So you need to be adding them to, all the portals. So you might be on maybe 2, 3, 4 portals, obviously real estate, maybe a couple of others like rent.com, domain, depending on, where you're based. So there's regional portals as well. But basically, say 3 or 4, for example. So you've got to obviously add the listing on in the first instance. If you need to schedule open homes or maybe a price change or anything like that, you might need to go back in on these portals again. And then when the property is let as well, obviously that needs to be updated too. So you can easily spend an hour per property on, adding it and then updating it, and
Yeah.
for each of those portals. So already for say 5 managements, at an hour each, that's already 5 hours a month, say just for the listing management.
Yeah.
Another thing that you can save time on is brochures. Now, with brochures, it really depends, I guess, on the area. From my experience with speaking with agents, some agents will say, "What's a brochure? We don't even use them," kind of thing. And other agents, swear by them. And it really depends on your geographic area and the people that you're dealing with. But certainly, if you are using brochures, things like window cards, booklets, property lists, all those kind of things, you should be able to generate in your CRM. And when I've seen, we've had clients come on board and they were using Illustrator or something to manually, put these brochures together, or they were hiring someone part-time to just do brochures and stuff like that. So there's automatically, if you're using brochures, there's, hours saved there as well on that side of things. There's also the feature I mentioned before, contact importing.
Yes.
So that's a big thing with the CRM, is getting data in, and data entry. If you've ever done data entry, it's really boring. It's really tedious. So this contact importing is a huge time saver as well. So if you can have inquiries coming in automatically, then that's just people you don't have to enter in. And over time, you're actually building a database, and long-established agencies, are able to build up quite sizable databases that are very valuable because, they can do marketing and whatnot to them.
Yeah.
And a lot of repeat business comes out of that as well. So there's also things like, property alerts, for example, automatic inspection reminders, all that kind of stuff. These little, like I said, those communication that you have to get through to people.
Yeah.
If you can automate that, that's like hours and hours of time saved and doing it in volume as well. If you were to do the same thing yourself manually, it would take enormous amounts of time.
That's right.
And also another time saver is just having like a landlord report. So once again, this, I guess, varies. Some people who I speak to say, yeah, we use landlord reports, we send them out fortnightly, religiously, and other people just say, yeah, look, we'll speak on the phone to them, but maybe if we need to make have some formal document for whatever reason, they'll put one together. So a good system will actually not only capture the lead information, but capture the inquiry against the listing as well. So you've got information about who's actually inquiring on this property, and it can be integrated with the email marketing. So the software will actually automatically build a picture of what's happening in the background. And if you do need to produce that, you should be able to just generate that and produce it, and that might be justification for a price reduction, for example. So there's things like that as well. So we're talking, like I said, for a single user property manager, it could be upwards of 20 hours a month that you could be saving using all this different stuff. And obviously you need to justify that cost. So if we say a ballpark figure of $200 a month that you're spending and you're saving 20 hours a month, well, it's pretty easy to work out, that's $10 an hour. So if you're paying yourself more than that, then it's probably worthwhile, considering looking at a CRM to help do that, because it's very much like just hiring almost a PA in some ways that works for you. So so that's the time saving component. So there's obviously other benefits that you can get from the CRM beyond that, and I guess they're more based around actually winning business and getting results for your clients. So say for example you do a rental appraisal for someone, and there's really only kind of 3 outcomes with that. They're either going to just list with you probably pretty quickly, they're either going to go to one of your competitors, or they're not going to do anything for maybe they need to buy a house before they rent out their current property or something that might be postponed for a while. And so really what you want to do is use the CRM to capture that information. So say, for example, they go with a competitor. You might want to make a note of that in your CRM that, you've done this appraisal for this person and they've chosen, your competitor. And you might even, if you get the opportunity to ask, why was it price or what was it, that can be an opportunity to say, well, is it okay if I maybe touch base in a year, just see how things are going? And, and they might be they might say, yeah, sure, no worries. Give us a bell in a year and we'll chat then, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And depending on how they go, it'll either go one way or the other, I suppose. But that's another, opportunity that you can put in your CRM. Mark your appraisal as that it's a cold appraisal. Put a reminder task and add some notes in there that you spoke to whoever it was and to get in touch with them in a year. And then the good thing with the CRM is that it's like your memory bank as well. So in a year's time, chances are you won't remember who that person is until you say, oh, who's this Jenny Smith person for this appraisal? I didn't do that. And then you'll click into it and you'll go, okay, there's all the notes that I had. Yeah, and I do that as well. And I'm sure most,
we all do
because we're all talking to so many people all the time. You just can't, absorb it all and remember all of it. So, but once you actually read over your notes, then it all comes back to you, kind of thing. So it is really good, for that purpose as well, for dealing with people over a long period of time and keeping in touch with them and all that kind of stuff. So and obviously if this appraisal goes the way of them postponing it for X amount of months, it might be 1 month or 6 months till they buy their place before they want to rent it. Well, then you just want to keep in touch with them. So put them on some automatic market alerts that lets them know what you've recently listed and recently let, and maybe, schedule a call for a few months' time or something. So there's lots of tools that you can use in a CRM to keep in touch with people and make sure, leads don't slip through the cracks, and that you're leveraging, your database and people that you're dealing with to get, the maximum return that you can on it. And obviously just
remember it yourself.
Exactly. So that's where the return is. So the time saving, and then just getting better outcomes, delivering a better service, and through the marketing and that kind of stuff. Because if you're leveraging a database, you can probably get a better price for them, maybe, if you're marketing to more people or if you're exposing it to more people. And also maybe let their property more quickly. So that only reflects better on you. And so that's all good things that the CRM can help you do. So
cool. So probably my final question just comes back to having been an agent myself and having worked with other agents. It seems as though a lot of people aren't using all of the features in their CRM package. How do we actually make the most out of a CRM program? How do we make sure that we are using all the features and
so
most?
It is an important point to make that a CRM it's a tool. You only get out what you put in, and it amplifies what you're already doing. It supercharges what you're already doing. So even though there is an element of automation in there, if you don't utilize the tools in there, you're not going to get the benefit out. It won't make, if you're a lazy agent using a CRM, it's not going to solve all your problems. If you're a good proactive agent, then it will help you a lot. Kind of thing. So there is that component of it. So so to get the most out of the system, I think being engaged is probably a really big thing. So turning up to training, if you're having a team training and you say, someone else will go to it or something, be engaged with it, ask questions and learn the system. And I guess don't be scared to try new things as well, because especially if you've been in industry a long time and we all develop habits and ways of doing things. And if the software has a new way of doing it that is more efficient, being open-minded to that, to new ideas and innovation and exploring the tools that are available to you and to the market, I guess that would be probably my main recommendation for getting the most out of it is having an open mind and being engaged and proactive with it.
Yeah, very cool. Is there anything else we should consider in relation to either taking on a new CRM software or using our own CRM software a little better? Is there any other tips that you can share with us?
So one thing I guess to look for is having a system that's easy to use. That's a big one, and that kind of ties into what we were just talking about, because a system could have all the features under the sun, but if it's too hard to use, then people won't use it. And this is especially important if you've got maybe some staff working for you and getting them to use it. It goes a long way that it's simple to use, because I've seen it quite often actually, where a system is being put in place and just the basics are being used, just because people just have no idea. So being engaged, is super important to that. But also, having a system, that is simple to use and is intuitive to kind of navigate around. And on top of that as well, you also want to be working with, I guess, a company that supports the system well too. So, as a real estate professional, you guys aren't necessarily tech people. I mean, it seems the real estate industry has people from, lots of different backgrounds, which is really good. There's a lot of diversity with experience and stuff, but a lot of people aren't tech savvy. So having support when you need it is also a very big thing. And one thing at Eagle that we've identified is a huge kind of gap in the market, that when you need help, that it's there for you, kind of thing. So that's probably, one to look out for as well.
Yeah. Good point. All right. So, Peter, I think you've organised a little free gift for our audience today. I think you've put together something special for us that we can download. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So basically, one of the popular things that we have in our software is a property booklet builder. And what these are good for is if you've got an office, you can have them at the front desk for people to grab, or for open inspections, you can hand them out there. And especially if perhaps they've inspected the property and what they're not necessarily maybe interested in this property, but you can show them what else you've got if you just hand this to them and say, oh, by the way, maybe have a look at this one and this one, kind of thing. So just getting them why you've got that qualified lead, that person in the home looking at what you've got, show them everything else as well that you've got. So actually, utilize that as maximize, that they've attended that open home. So what we have is a template. So from our property booklet. So what this is a Word document, and you can copy in your images and description, all that kind of stuff, to put together a property booklet yourself. So it's not as fast as the booklet builder that we have in the system, but this is a good start. So that'll be free. So we'll be having that on a link for people to download.
Excellent. So it doesn't matter what CRM software we have, we can download this link, and it's a Word document, so we can edit it and rebrand it.
Yep. Go for gold. Use it how you like.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Peter.
No worries.
We'll put a link below this video so that you can download it and access that template straight away.
Beautiful.
Peter, thank you so much for joining us. And
not a problem, Alan.
So much for such good education on what to look for in a CRM and how to use it better and how to calculate a return on investment, because I don't think we often consider that. That we have to consider the return on investment, because we're spending money each month. We want to make sure that we're getting a return. And thanks for just encouraging us to get continued training and continued support from whatever CRM program we're using, so that we're actually maximizing whatever features contained within that software.
Beautiful. No, not a problem at all, and happy to chat with you. And I'm glad you reached out and followed me up to do this video interview as well.
Yes, me too.
You're obviously using a CRM, I can tell. And I get your emails, regularly too. So I mean, this all kind of proves, what we talk about all the time. Like, it works, because I feel like I'm talking to you every week, even though I actually haven't spoken to you for a little while.
Ages.
You're in my inbox every week.
Exactly.
It does. It works well. I appreciate your time for organising this.
So Peter, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to put a link to Peter's contact details and a link to my contact details. So if you've got any questions at all about maximising your current CRM software or sourcing new CRM software, or if you have any trouble downloading the template that Peter has put together for us, you can contact either of us. And we'll just leave all those details in the description box below. Thank you so much for your time today, Peter.
No worries, Alan.
We catch up. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.